I am making a beef borscht soup. So I have salt and peppered what's called flanken, and it's thinly cut, sliced along the bone short ribs. And I'm putting them in a pan with some oil. That sides, I salt and peppered both sides of the flanken. I did one side is brown and the other side is getting brown. And then I'm going to add the rest of the meat that I already did back into the pot. Okay, I've got some whole beets that I just scrubbed up. I kept the peel on them. I'm just going to put them in here with the meat. Then I'm going to put enough water to cover all of it. And I probably could have added more beets than what I did, but that's all I had left. So, okay. So everything's covered in water. Oops. And I'm going to turn it on high and bring it to a boil. And it says to cover and let it simmer for about 40 minutes. Okay, so the meat and the beets cooked for 40 minutes. Then I turned it off. I took the beets out. I let them cool. While that was cooking, I chopped up the other vegetables. So I have onion, potatoes, carrots, and garlic in here. I'm going to pour that right into the pot. The meat is still in here. Then I peeled the beets and grated them on a hand grater. So I've got all the grated beets, and I'm going to pour those back into the pot. Get back up to a simmer. I'm going to add 4 bay leaves. 1, 2, and a half, 3, and a small one. All right, so that's 4 bay leaves, and then it calls for some green pepper. I don't have any fresh green pepper, so I'm going to use some dried from my garden last year, and I'm just going to put in what I think is about a pepper's worth. And it'll reconstitute as it cooks. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil with the lid back on, and then let it simmer for an hour. Okay, I knew I would forget something. I needed to add the salt. I did salt and pepper the meat, but now you add salt to the pot. So it calls for 2.5 teaspoons. This is a double batch, by the way. And this is sea salt. I only use sea salt. Okay. All right, so the salt is in there. Okay, so it's been an hour with the vegetables in there cooking, and now I'm going to do the second to last step, but for me, it's kind of the last step because my husband's going to do the last step. I'm adding in this mixture that is tomato paste, lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and I used honey. It called for sugar. I used an entire head of cabbage. I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to let it keep simmering for a half an hour. And then when that half hour's up, I'm going to take the meat out, leave it on a plate to cool, and then I have to leave. And my husband is going to take the meat off the bone and put it back in the pot with the rest of the tomato paste. And then it just has to like kind of meld for like 10-15 minutes, and then it's done. And it's absolutely delicious, and I will come back and show you what it looks like when it's done and in a bowl at the end of the video. So hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Have a great day.